So last class we started talking about the coordinate system, and in this section we will use Cartesian coordinate system. Our Cartesian coordinate system has a horizontal line x-axis, it has a vertical line y-axis, intersecting point origin, okay, and we use this Cartesian coordinate system to locate point on a plane, okay. And if we have any point x y, so we use an order pair to represent a point on a plane, and if we have a xy as a coordinate of that point, then we know that point is x distance from y-axis and y distance from x-axis, okay. It gives us an idea of the location of any point. The next we had the most important feature of a straight line, which is a slope. Our slope is rise over run. So we find the rise by finding a difference of y coordinate. Our run is difference of x coordinate, okay. Next we had an equation of a line, point slope form. We use point slope form if we are given a slope of a line and if we know at least one point on the line, okay. If we know slope of that line and if we know at least one point on that line, we can find the equation of that line using this point slope form, okay. It will be provided on your formula sheet, so no need to memorize. Next we had a slope intercept form, and we use this form to find the equation of line if we are given slope of a line and a y-intercept, okay. If we know at what point line crosses y-axis, which is y-intercept, and a slope of that line, then we use slope intercept form to find the equation of a line, and our slope intercept form is y equals to mx plus b. Okay, and the next using our slope and a y-intercept, we can always graph a straight line, okay. Or in order to graph, we can find at least 2 points on a straight line. Connecting those 2 points give us a graph of a line, okay. Now the next here, today we'll talk about equation of a horizontal line, okay. Now in our Cartesian coordinate system, so let's draw horizontal line. So we have x-axis, we have y-axis, we have origin. So we have positive number 1 2 3 4. So this is 1 2 3 4 5. This is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, okay. Now let's draw horizontal line, okay. So horizontal line is a line parallel to our x-axis, okay. So let me draw horizontal line, so okay, and let me draw one more horizontal line. So we have horizontal line here. Now our target is finding an equation of this line, okay. So at first, what will be a slope of this kind of line? So slope is how we define our slope. Our slope m is rise over run. So rise is difference of y coordinate and run is difference of x coordinate, okay. So our rise over run. Now if we move along that green horizontal line, what is the rise? So is the line going up or down, or are you going up or down if you are moving along that green line? It means there is no rise, right? So no rise means it's a 0. And if we have 0 in the numerator divided by some number in the denominator, what is the final answer? It's 0, right? It means every horizontal line has a slope m equals to 0, okay. So horizontal line m, for every horizontal line slope m is 0, okay. M is 0. Now let's use our, now what do we call this point for this line and what do we call these points? So what do we call this point and this point? So these are the point where line crosses y-axis, and what do we call those point? y-intercept, right? So here for this line we have the y-intercept. For a green line, y-intercept is 2, so this point is 2. For this line our y-intercept is -3. So here our y-intercept b is 2, so here b is -3. Now we know slope of a line, we know y-intercept. Now which form do we use to find the equation of a line? We have a two option, okay? Every time if you are finding an equation of a line, you have two options. One is point slope form, that is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. This is point slope form. And the next form we have slope intercept form, which is y equals to mx plus b. Now which equation or which form do we use here to find the equation of line? Y equals to mx plus b, because we know m, we know b. Okay, so if you substitute m and b, then we have the equation. So the equation is y equals to m is 0, 0 times x is 0 plus b, our b is 2, so y equals to 2. So here y equals to -3. Okay, so in general every horizontal line has an equation y equals to b, and our b is the y-intercept. Okay, b is the point where line crosses y-axis. Okay, so y equals to b is the equation for every horizontal line, and every horizontal line has a slope m equals to 0. Does anyone need worksheet handout? Okay, now next let's find the equation of a vertical line. Okay, so let's draw a vertical line. So let me draw a vertical line here. Okay, so this is our vertical line. So let's draw one more vertical line here. Okay, now if we are thinking of a slope of this vertical line, what would be the slope of a vertical line? Our slope is rise over run. Now if you are moving along this vertical line, so we see the rise, right? We are moving up or also down or down. Now what about run? Are you running or moving along x-axis? If you are moving along this vertical line, so if you are moving along this vertical line, is there a movement in a horizontal direction? No, right? It means our run is a 0, and any number in rise divided by 0 is, what is any number divided by 0? It's not 0, it's undefined. It means vertical line has no slope, its slope is undefined. Okay, so our m is undefined, or we can write our slope equals to let's say, just let me write y2 minus y1 as it is divided by 0. Okay, and in general the next thing we cannot, okay, now what do we call this point? So the points where the vertical line crosses x-axis, these points are, what do we call these points where straight line crosses x-axis? We call it x-intercept. Okay, so x-intercept is given, a slope is undefined. So in general the equation of this vertical line will be x equals to a, and our a is a point where line crosses x-axis. So x equals to the coordinate of this point. So this is -1, -2, -3. So x equals to -3 is the equation of this vertical line, and here this, so x equals to, so this point 1 2 3 4 5, so x equals to 5 is the equation of this vertical line. So if you have y equals to some number, that is a horizontal line. If you have a x equals to some number, that is vertical line. Okay, so x equals to a is a vertical line, its slope is undefined. Okay, and y equals to b is a horizontal line, and b is the y-intercept. So this is about vertical line and a horizontal line. Any question on this part? Okay, now the next here we have a general form of the equation of line. So if we have our equation of a line in this form, ax plus by plus c equals to 0, a, b, c are any real number. Okay, x is our x coordinate, y is our y coordinate, and if we have this equation, then we call it a general form. Okay, Now let's go to an example. So here we have the equation 3x plus 2y minus 4 equals to 0 in a slope intercept form and graph the line. Now what form is this? So we have 3x plus 2y minus 4 equals to 0. This is same as ax plus by plus c equals to 0 form. It means we are given general form of equation of a line. And we have to rewrite this general form of a line in a slope intercept form. And what is that slope intercept form? Slope intercept form is y equals to mx plus b. So this is our slope intercept form. Ax plus by plus c equals to 0 is a general form. So from general form, we are rewriting as a slope intercept form. Now how do we rewrite? So rewriting in a slope intercept form means we are solving this equation for y. It means we are making y by itself in one side. Okay. So let's make y by itself in one side. So we have 3x plus 2y minus 4 equals to 0. So we have to make y by itself. It means we need to get rid of negative 4. We need to get rid of positive 3x. We need to get rid of these 2. Okay, so we are solving for y. Now let's get rid of positive 3x. And how do we get rid of positive 3x in this equation? We subtract 3x on both sides. So we have, this is 0. We have 2y negative 4 equals to negative 3x. We are making y by itself. Now let's get rid of negative 4, and we do that by adding 4 on both sides. So this is 0. So we have 2y equals to negative 3x plus 4. Now we still have 2 as a coefficient. We need to get rid of this 2. For that, we divide each term. Okay, make sure you are dividing each term by that 2. And we have y equals to negative 3 over 2x plus 4 divided by 2, that is 2. And this is our slope intercept form. Okay, so you will be asked to rewrite in a slope intercept form. Okay, that means you are solving that equation for y. You are making y by itself. Now let's compare this with our slope intercept form y equals to mx plus b. Now if we compare, what do we know about slope of a line? What is m? Now here, so m is the coefficient of x, right? So what do we have as a coefficient of x? Negative 3 over 2. And this negative 3 over 2 is a slope of a line. So negative 3 over 2. So if you have equation of a line in a slope intercept form, then the whatever number you have in front of x, it's always slope. Okay, so negative 3 over 2 is a slope. And what is b? Our b is a constant. So b is a constant. And what do we have as a constant? 2. And this 2 is a y intercept. M is a slope, b is a y intercept. Okay, m slope is a coefficient of x, and b is a constant. But make sure to have your equation in slope intercept form before to find m and b. Okay, you can't compare this general form with a slope intercept form. So rewrite your equation in a slope intercept form. Then once you have that, the coefficient of x is slope and b is y intercept. Now let's use this information to graph this straight line. Okay, so to graph, we need a Cartesian coordinate system. We have a x-axis, y-axis, we have an origin. Now where do we start? We start from y-intercept, and y-intercept is 2. So it means the very first starting point is positive 2. Okay, it's on the y-axis. So this is 2. Okay, so this is our y-intercept b. Okay, now we find the next point with the help of our slope. Okay, now what do we have as a slope? We have a negative 3 over 2. Now what does it mean? So we move 2 unit. Okay, so this is run. Okay, denominator is run, numerator is rise or fall. So you run 2 unit on the right. Okay, so from this y-intercept you run 2 unit on the right. So 1 unit, 2 unit, then you rise -3. You are rising -3 means you are going down by 3 units. Okay, so from here, okay, so 1, this is 2, this is 3. So we have final point here. Now you connect these two dots and we get a straight line. Okay, and this is a graph for this equation of a line. So if you have a slope, if you have a y-intercept, you can always graph a straight line. Okay, any question on this example? Okay, if you do not have, then let's go to the next one. Okay, next here. Now if we have a two line, okay, if we have a two non-vertical lines, okay, and if they are parallel to each other, then their slope is exactly same. So we have a two lines which are parallel to each other, then the slope has to be same. Okay, so parallel means, so what kind of lines are parallel to each other? So we have, okay, let's draw, this is our first line. Now how do we draw the another line which is parallel to L1? So parallel means when we extend on a both side, they never meet each other, right? So let's draw another line here, L2, and these two lines are parallel to each other. Okay, if these two lines are parallel to each other, then slope of a line L1 and slope of a line L2, okay, both of these line has exactly same slope. It means M1 is equals to M2. We have a two different line. Okay, they are parallel to each other, they never meet at any point when we extend, and if they are parallel, the slope is always equals to each other. So this is one way. Now if we have a two lines whose slope is equals to each other, then what can we say about those two lines? So we have a two different line and we have exactly same slope for those two lines. Now what can we say about those two lines? Those two lines has to be parallel to each other. Okay, if they are parallel, their slope is same. If the lines has the same slope, the lines has to be parallel to each other. Okay, in the next, if we have a two lines which are perpendicular to each other, okay, perpendicular means if they make 90-degree. So we have two line. So this is line 1 and we have line 2. Now here these two are perpendicular to each other. It means they make 90-degree. If this is the case, then slope of the product of slope of these two lines. So let me call M1 as a slope of line 1 and M2 as a slope of line 2. Now if they are perpendicular to each other, the product of slope of these two lines, M1 times M2, has to be always equals to -1. We have a two lines and they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, if they are perpendicular to each other, then if you multiply their slope, the product has to be always equals to -1. Okay, if product of slope of two lines is -1, then those lines are perpendicular to each other. Or you can just interpret in a different way. So if we have two lines perpendicular to each other, then the slope of one line is equals to negative of reciprocal of slope of second line. Okay, so slope of first line is equals to negative of reciprocal of line 2. Reciprocal means you switch numerator and denominator. Okay, so this is one way to know. Or when you multiply the slope of two lines which are perpendicular to each other, the product of slopes is always equals to -1. Okay, so these are the properties of parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Okay, now let's go ahead and do some example based on this here. So here we are asked to find equation of a line. Okay, finding equation of line means you always have to think of these two form: point slope form, y minus y1 times x minus x1, and the next form, y equals to mx plus b. Okay, every time if you are asked to find equation of line, we always have these two form. We need to find the equation of a line, so let's draw that line. So we need to find the equation of this line. Let me call L1, and is parallel to 2x minus y equals to 1. Now this L1 is parallel to 2x minus y equals to 1 line, and let's draw that line here. Parallel means this is the parallel line, and the equation of this line is 2x minus y equals to 1, passing through 2, -3. So this line 1 is passing through one point, which is 2, -3, and write the equation in a slope intercept form. So we are asked to find equation of a line. Okay, so that line is our this L1, so we need to find the equation of this line. This line is parallel to 2x minus y equals to 1, so parallel to this line, and passing through 2, -3. Passing through means that point is on the line. Okay, so our 2, -3 is the point on the line that we want to find the equation. And finally we have to rewrite the equation of line L1 in a slope intercept form. Okay, now to find the equation of line, what do we need to know? So if you want to use point slope form, what do we need to know? We need to know slope of a line. Okay, so if you want to find the equation of a line, you need to know slope of a line, and you need to know at least one point, x1, y1. If you know slope and at least one point, you can use this one. If you know slope of a line and a y-intercept, you can use this form. Now our target is finding the equation of line L1. So what do we know about L1? So we know at least one point on line L1, right? So that is, okay, let's call that one point is x1, y1. And the next thing we need to know the slope of a line L1. So we need to know the slope of this straight line. If we know slope of this line and we already have a point, we can use our first this point slope form. So how do we find the slope of this line L1? Now our L1, the red line, is parallel to our next line, right? Now since these two are parallel, what do we know about their slope? Slope are same, right? So if we can find slope of this line, okay, let me call L2. If we can find slope of line L2, then it will be the same slope for our L1. Now let's go ahead and find slope of our line 2. Now how do we find slope of this line? In order to find slope of a line, we always rewrite this line in a slope intercept form. Okay, writing in a slope intercept form means we are solving for y. Now let's solve this equation for y. Solving means we make y by itself. For that we subtract 2x on both sides. So we have -y equals to -2x plus 1. Now we are solving for y, but it still has a negative, so let's get rid of negative by dividing each term. Okay, make sure you divide each term by -1. Then our y is -2x divided by -1, positive 2x, positive 1 divided by -1, -1. So we solve the equation for y. Now once we solve for the equation of y, can you tell what is the slope of this line now? Slope is coefficient of x. What number do we have in front of x? 2, and that 2 is a slope of line L2. Now if the slope of line L2 is 2, what is the slope of line L1? It has to be 2 because they are parallel to each other. Okay. Now we know the slope, we know at least one point. Now which form do we use to find the equation of this straight line L1? We use point slope form. So let's use y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Do not substitute anything for x and y. You write down y as it is. Our y1 is -3. Make sure to have parentheses. Equals to our slope is 2 times x minus x1 is 2. Now let's simplify and solve for y. So this is y plus 3 equals to, you distribute 2 times x, 2x, 2 times -2, -4. Now you subtract 3 because we are solving for y. Our y is 2x minus 7. And this is the equation of our line 1. It means this is the equation that we want to find here. And you will have exactly same type of question on your second exam. It means you will be asked to find the equation of a line. Okay, very similar to this one. Any question? Now let's go ahead and start the next one. So in the next one we are asked to find the equation of line. Okay, so do not forget about that two form, point slope form and slope intercept form. And now let's draw that line. So we want to find the equation of this line L1, and this line is perpendicular to 2x plus 3y minus 1 equals to 0. Now let's draw a line perpendicular to L1. Perpendicular means we have to draw a line such that angle between those two lines has to be 90 degree. So this is our line perpendicular, and the equation of this line is 2x plus 3y minus 1 equals to 0, and passing through 4, -1. So this 4, -1 is the point on L1 for -1. And finally we have to write down the equation in a slope intercept form. We are trying to find the equation of line L1. Okay, our L1 is perpendicular to our L2. We know the equation of L2, and that line L1 is passing through 4, -1 point. Now, in order to find the equation of L1, what is missing? We know at least one point on that line. So let's call that point as a x1, y1. So we know at least one point on the line L1. Now what is the next thing we need to know in order to find the equation of line? We need to know its, what do we need to know for line 1? If we want to find the equation of a line, we need to know its slope, right? Every time, okay, if you are finding equation of line, you need to know slope. Now let's find the slope of line L1. So our target is finding slope of line L1. Now we don't know, it's not given to us, but our line L1 is perpendicular to line 2. Now if the two lines are perpendicular to each other, what do we know about their slope? How they are related? The product of slope of line 1 and a slope of line 2 is equals to -1, right? Or the other way is that the slope of this red line is equals to negative of a reciprocal of a slope of line L2. So at first, let's start with finding slope of this line L2. Okay, and the method is same. You solve this equation for y, and you get slope of line L2. Solving for y means you get rid of positive 2x by subtracting 2x. You add 1 both sides to get rid of negative 1. So we have 3y, this is 0, this is 0, equals to negative 2x plus 1. Now we still need to get rid of 3. For that, you divide each term, okay? Make sure you are dividing each term on a both side. And we have y equals to negative 2 over 3 x plus 1 over 3. Now what is the slope of line L2? Its slope is whatever number you have in front of x, which is negative 2 over 3. So negative 2 over 3 is a slope of this line, line 2. Now we know slope of line 2. Line 1, first line and second line, they are perpendicular to each other. If they are perpendicular to each other, then slope of this line is equals to negative, okay, write down the negative, okay, slope of L1 is equals to negative of reciprocal of slope of second line. Now what is the reciprocal of this number? Reciprocal means you switch numerator and denominator. So if you switch numerator and denominator for that number, what do we get? We get negative 3 over 2. Okay, so negative of negative 3 over 2. And what is this? This is positive. Negative times negative 3 over 2 is positive 3 over 2. And this is a slope of red line. Okay, you find the slope of a line, then you take negative of its reciprocal. Okay, negative first. Okay, do not forget this negative. Negative, then the reciprocal of this number. Reciprocal means you switch numerator to denominator, denominator to numerator. Then you simplify, we get positive 3 over 2. Now we know slope of a red line. We know the slope, and we have at least 1 point on that line. Now what form do we use here? Do we use point slope form or a slope intercept form? We use point slope form. Now let's use point slope form to find the equation of a line. So our point slope form is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Now let's substitute our y1, x1 and m. Our y is as it is. What is our y1? Negative 1 equals to slope is 3 over 2 times x minus x1 is 4. x1 is 4. Now let's simplify and solve for y, and that is our final answer. So y plus 1 equals to, you distribute 3 over 2 times x, 3 over 2x. 3 over 2 times negative 4 is, what is 3 over 2 times negative 4? Is it negative 6? 3 times 4, 12 divided by 2 is 6. So negative 6. Now we still have positive 1. Let's get rid of positive 1 by subtracting 1 on both sides. So we have y equals to 3 over 2x minus 7. And this is the equation of a line that we are interested to find. Since these two are perpendicular to each other, the slope, the product of slope has to be negative 1, right? So this is slope of a green line. This is slope of red line. So if we multiply negative 2 over 3 and positive 3 over 2, do we get a negative 1? So if we multiply negative 2 over 3 and positive 3 over 2, do we get a negative 1? We get negative 1, right? It means these two lines are perpendicular to each other. Okay. Any question on this part? And you will get very similar question on your second exam. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the next one. Okay, here we have to find the equation of a line. So we have more examples. our x-intercept is negative 3, 0 and y-intercept is 0, 1. So let's draw a line. So this is x-axis, y-axis, origin. So negative 3, 0. So let's say this is negative 3, 0. And 0, 1. 0, 1 is here. So this is 0, 1. So we have a line whose y-intercept is 0, 1. X-intercept is negative 3, 0. And you are asked to find the equation of this line. Okay. Now which form do you want to use here? So you always have two form. Okay. If you are asked to find the equation of a line, you have two form. Do not forget that. Y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. The next option y equals to mx plus b. Now which form do you want to use here? Can we use both? Now since we are asked to find the equation of line, the very first thing we need to know is the slope of that line, right? So now let's start by finding slope of this line. So let's call this first point as a x1, y1. Let's call this second point as our x2, y2. Now what is the formula to find slope? Our m slope is difference of y coordinate, y2 minus y1 divided x2 minus x1. Our y2 is, what is y2? 1 minus y1 is 0 divided by x2 is 0 minus x1 is minus 3. So the 1 minus 0, 1, 0 plus 3. So 1 over 3 is a slope of this line. We know the slope. Now, which form do you want to use? Yeah, we can use y equals to mx plus b. But to use that, we should know what is b. So what is b here? B is the y-intercept. So what is y-intercept, or what at what point this line crosses y-axis? At 0, 1, right? So 1 is b. So your b is 1, m is 1 over 3. You substitute, you get the equation of a line. So the equation of line is y equals to m is 1 over 3, x plus b is 1. So this is the equation of a line. And if you want to use point slope form, you can still use point slope form. Okay. But using slope intercept form is very easy here. We know the y-intercept, we know the slope. You substitute m and b and you get the equation of a line. Okay. Any question? Okay, now let's go to the next one. We are asked to find the equation of a horizontal line. So let's draw a horizontal line at first. Okay, so let's draw our Cartesian coordinate system. So we have a horizontal line through 4, 0.5. So let's find this point, 4, 0.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, this is 0.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 0.5. So this is 4, 0.5. Now how do we draw a horizontal line passing through that 4, 0.5? Horizontal line means it has to be parallel to x-axis, right? So let's draw a horizontal line parallel to x-axis and passing through that point. So this is the horizontal line and we have to find the equation of this line. Now how do we find the equation of this horizontal line? So if you have a horizontal line, the equation looks like y equals to b. If you have horizontal line, okay, this is the case only when you use for horizontal line. So if you have horizontal line, then y equals to b is the equation and b is the y-intercept. Now at what point this line crosses y-axis? 0.5. Okay, so you are looking at this point and this point is 0.5, so y equals to 0.5 is the equation of this horizontal line. To find the equation of a horizontal line, you should know at what point that line crosses y-axis, and y equals to that number is the equation of horizontal line. Now next we are asked to find the equation of a vertical line, and let's draw that vertical line. So vertical line through 0, 3. So let's draw. So where is 0, 3? 0, 3 is okay. 1, 2, 3. This is 0, 3, right? So this is 0, 3. Now how do we draw a vertical line passing through that 0, 3? Isn't that the same y-axis line? So it's the same y-axis line, right? We have to draw a vertical line that passes through this 0, 3. So this vertical line and our y-axis is exactly same. And if we have a vertical line, then our equation is always x equals to a. And a is a, okay, so it's an x-intercept. So a is a point where that vertical line crosses x-axis. Now we have this vertical line. At what point this vertical line crosses our x-axis? 0. So x equals to 0 is the equation of this vertical line. So if your horizontal line is x-axis, what will be the equation of that horizontal line? So we have a horizontal line. Our horizontal line is on that x-axis. What will be the equation? So we use same y equals to b, y equals to b. Now b is the y-intercept. Now at what point this horizontal line crosses y-axis? At 0, right? So y equals to 0 is the equation. So y equals to 0 means this is a x-axis. Do not get confused. It's the same thing. And x equals to 0 is same as y-axis. You can rewrite your x-axis as a y equals to 0. You can rewrite your y-axis as a x equals to 0. Okay? Any question?
Is that asking the question?
I'm sorry?
The one you just did, was it asking the question?
No, this was not right. I just added. So here we are asked to find the equation of horizontal line passing through 405. This is the final answer. I just added that for horizontal line on the x-axis, the equation is y equals to 0. Okay. Now, the last question for this section we have here, number 4. And this is what we hate most, right? Now let's try to solve this one. In 2010, there were 1,400 Canada geese in wildlife refuge. Okay, in 2010. So let's make a list of what is given to us. So in 2010, the number of geese we have is 1,400. In 2016, their population is increased to 1,820. So in 2016, the number increased to 1,820. This is given to us. Write an equation of a population of a Canada geese. So we have to write equation of population of Canada geese. So they use y to represent the population. Okay, it means our second column is y. Okay, 1,400, 1,820. These are the population of geese. So that is y. In terms of x, x is the number of years since 2010. Now, how do we find x? So x is the number of years since 2010. So if x is the number of years since 2010, what will be x for the year 2010? It's 0, right? It's 0. Now what will be the number of years since 2010 if the year is 2016? 6, and that is our x. And we have to write an equation, okay? So we have to write an equation. So we have a 2 point now. Combining, if you just write x and y together, we have a point. So x0, 1400. This is the first point. Second point is 6, 1820. So we have a 2 point. So let's call first point as a x1, y1. Second point as a x2, y2. Now we find the equation of a line. And what formula do we use to find the equation? What do we need to know? We need to know the slope. Now let's find slope. Slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Our y2 is 1820 minus, this is y2, okay? y1 is 1400 divided by x2 is 6 minus 0. So 1820 minus 1400, that is 420 divided by 6, and that is 70. So our m, which is slope, is 70. Okay. Any question up to here? We are finding the equation of line, okay? And to find the equation, we need a slope. Now we have the two options, using point slope form and a slope intercept form. So what form do you want to use? Now, so this point, see, it has a x equals to 0. So what does it mean by if we have a x coordinate equals to 0? What point is this? So if we have, it's the y-intercept, okay, see? So every point with the x coordinate 0 is the y-intercept. So this is our b, 1400 is our b, okay? So 1400 is our b. Now we use this equation, y equals to mx plus b, y equals to mx plus b. Y as it is m 70, x as it is b is 1400, and this is the equation of a line that give us the number of Canada Geese, where x is the number of years since 2010. This is part A. Now here, so what is the slope of this line? 70. Well, what is the y-intercept? 1400. Now what does it mean by this 70? What is this 70 for this example? It's not just a number. That's right. So every year the population of Canada geese is since it's a positive, is increased by 70. Okay, so 70 number of geese is added every year. That is the slope. Now what about this 1400? What is this 1400?
Your starting number of geese at 2010.
That's the year. That's the number of geese at 2010. Okay. Now, last question. When will the geese population reach 1960? Now, when means, so we have a two variable, x, we have a y. So, when will the geese population reach 1960? Now, what we are asked to find? Are we asked to find x or y? Y is a number of geese, x is number of years. So if we are asked when will, now when means we are asked to find x. Okay, so we need to find x. And what is this 1960? That is the population, that is y. So y is 1960. Now use this equation. You replace your y by 1960 and you find x. Okay. You subtract 1400. That is 560 divided by 70x divided by 70. 8 equals to x. So x is the 8. So if number of years since 2010 is 8, What year is that? 2018. So 2018. So in the year 2018, the number of geese will be 1960. So this is how we can use this line of equation in real life problem. Okay.